I was sweeping the floor when I noticed the stone lion in the way. In a moment of frustration, I struck out with a palm, sending it flying. My mother quickly stopped. The stone lion with a palm worried that I might expose my martial arts abilities. She then placed the lion back in its original spot. I dropped the broom, picked up the stone lion, and returned it to its place. But in the process, I accidentally left a palm print on its leg. Mother reminded me not to reveal my martial arts skills in front of others. Just as she finished speaking, a group of people appeared, carrying 1,000 jin cauldron. The cauldron was so heavy that even 8 strong men could barely move it. Leading them was the newly appointed leader of the Martial Arts Alliance. My mother ignored him. Turning around, she continued polishing the lion, telling him that he had mistaken the person. The leader immediately knelt, begging my mother to teach him a single palm technique. But my mother remained silent and pulled me into the courtyard. At this point, people from the martial arts dojo came out to greet the leader. The leader, however, struck the giant cauldron with a single palm, dropping it. He said that if the William family could move it by half a meter, we could participate in the martial arts competition. This was the honor of the William family. The leader instructed his men to stay behind and guard the cauldron, but none of the disciples of the William family could move the cauldron. This cauldron weighed 5,000 jin, and even if everyone worked together, it couldn't be moved. Only the old dojo master noticed the palm print on the stone lion and concluded that it must have been left by an extraordinary master. At that moment, I stepped forward and said, "Moving the cauldron is no big deal." A woman told me that this was the leader's test. The entire dojo had failed to move the cauldron. How could I possibly do it? But with just one hand, I effortlessly lifted the 5,000 jin cauldron. Mother immediately stopped me. In a panic, I let go of the cauldron, sending it flying. Everyone was in disbelief. The leader's subordinates were confused. Even the top 10 martial artists couldn't lift the cauldron with one hand. How could a girl do it? I said, "What's so hard about it? My mother makes me lift things heavier than this every day." Mother quickly covered my mouth, saying I had never practiced martial arts. I was just a bit stronger. It turned out that my mother was the legendary martial arts saint from the past. On the day she won the title of #1 in the martial world, my father was assassinated before he died. Mother promised him she would never use her martial arts again. She hid her identity and raised me in secret. From then on, both of us were seen as the disaster that killed my husband. We were relegated to servants in the William family, enduring humiliation and forbidden from practicing martial arts, until Mother encountered the Martial Arts Alliance leader who had fallen into madness outwardly. She only used one palm to send the leader into a wall, but in reality, that palm had stabilized his vital energy. That was why the leader placed the giant cauldron in front of our door and draw out the masked master under my mother's cover. Everyone thought I had simply used leverage to move the cauldron. After all, how could a child possibly have the strength to lift 1,000 jin? But ultimately, I passed the test. The leader's men handed over a token, allowing us to participate in the martial arts competition. Just then, the second young master of the William family was severely injured. A bully came to cause trouble, claiming that the second young master had lost in the tournament and used the dojo as collateral. Then, he showed the signed documents written by the second young master demanding to take over the dojo. Grandfather was furious and slapped the second young master, but the second young master argued that it was supposed to be 3 rounds and he had only lost 1, so why was he being forced to admit defeat? The bully didn't take the William family's martial arts seriously and immediately sent out experts to finish the last 2 rounds. My older brother recognized him as Tony, a top 10 martial artist. His abilities were beyond measure, but I could tell from his stance that he was lacking strength. He didn't seem like a true expert. Mother told me not to speak out. The William family planned to send the strongest disciple, my older brother, to fight, but the bully insisted that the signed documents said it had to be the second young master. This was clearly a death sentence for him, but my older brother reassured the second young master that he would guide him from the sidelines, and they might still win. Reluctantly, the second young master stepped into the ring as they fought. My older brother coached him on the martial arts strategies. Indeed, in the first round, the second young master had the upper hand. He kicked Tony back. Everyone praised my older brother for being a genius, saying that with just a few pointers, he had defeated the opponent, but I saw that Tony wasn't using his full strength. I said, "Second brother is going to lose." Mother told me to keep quiet. "How could he lose when he's ahead?" she said. Sure enough, in the following exchanges, Tony seized the second young master's flaw and in just a few moves, sent him flying. At that moment, I was about to step in.